It's an all-known fact that Japanese fighters are underestimated because of their physique. But there are those who prove their strength is on a completely different level. True warriors with samurai blood running through their veins who amaze the whole world with their skills.
A fearsome flurry, and he's got him with a left.
Get ready to witness the best Japanese fighters and their insane knockouts. This is Boxing Space. Here we go. The future menace was born in April 1993. His father, Shingo, was a former boxer, and he dreamed that his son would follow in his footsteps, so he began to coach his son from an early age. That soon bore fruit, because there were no worthy opponents left for Inoue in his homeland. And so he decided to go from the sea of amateurs to the ocean of professional sharks, signing a contract with Ohashi Boxing Gym with the requirement that he would never be given weak opponents. His debut fight took place in October 2012. At that time, the Japanese Jack Reaper had just started his march in the light flyweight division, and he was immediately challenged by the Filipino champion Crisono Mayao with a record of 16-4. It seemed that the more experienced Omayao would crush the debutant who had just been hatched in the professional ring. But in the fight, Inoue began to prove that he was a force to be reckoned with. Justifying his fearsome nickname, the Monster, he delivered his punches as if with a sniper, but his shots hit Omayao's face instead of his ears. But Omayao, realizing that he was losing, decided to deliver a sneaky blow after the bell. Shocked by this despicable act, Inoue, like Gordon Ramsay, made rat foie gras out of the scoundrel's liver, thus declaring that the future king had begun his rise. The following years, Inoue delivered fatalities to 5 successive opponents, thus becoming a dark horse in the boxing world, for which he earned the right to a title fight. The honor of facing the future legend was bestowed upon his fellow countryman, Tomo Arimatsu. Arimatsu was significantly older and had much more experience, but that didn't intimidate our debutante in the slightest. Spending a few seconds to adjust his aim, Tenshin greeted his opponent with a powerful left, spectacularly knocking him down. Arimatsu miraculously managed to get back on his feet, but the dazed look in his eyes clearly showed that he was already suffering from brain fog. In turn, Tenshin sensed blood and, like a predator, began to tear into his prey. After a relentless attack, Nasukawa unleashed a high kick that nearly beheaded his opponent, sending his lifeless body crashing to the canvas. Thus, the young Tenshin Nasukawa proclaimed that a new star had lit up the fighting world's sky. In February 2017, Rukiya Anpo delivered a performance worthy of an Oscar in his fight against Hiroshi Mizumachi, turning the ring into the stage for a spectacular slasher.
Action here.
Yeah, so we have the...
From the very first seconds, Rukiya fought as if he had unleashed his Bankai.
Definitely Anpo, this deserved match. Nice right hand. Ooh, and nice front kick by Anpo.
Look at that long thing. No, you're exactly right. These guys are starting off fairly fast, and that's what's great about this.
Mizumachi tried to counter, but Anpo showcased techniques straight out of Street Fighter.
Paying no heed to the low attacks to
Ooh,
the
nice.
front leg there.
What Hiroshi does.
Yeah, he's got some great pop on his shots. He's kind of pushing Hiroshi around the ring here.
Yeah. He had that reach. Nice combos. Nice.
Fast. It's really definitely more control here.
Big money. He got some big money there. Wow.
Mizamachi barely survived the first round, but it seemed Anpo had a drift race to catch, so he ended it quickly, cutting the thread of Mizamachi's fate with a devastating scissor kick.
Big. Oh my God. Never win. He's talking to Peter Pan right now. Wow. My goodness. My favorite kick ever.
Anpo emerged victorious, proving to the world that his limbs deserved to be classified as lethal weapons. In September 2011, Takeru made his debut in Crush, a subsidiary organization of K1. In his very first fight against Hirofumi Kamada, Sagawa sliced and diced him like a tempura roll. Takeru wasn't afraid to engage in brutal exchanges and had a rare talent for finding the off switch on his opponent's jaws. In 2014, on Christmas Eve, the stadium spectators witnessed a real boxing execution. It involved a young, newly crowned WBC champion, Inoue Naoya, and an Argentinian who was considered a former WBO champion, Omar Narvaez, who was able to make 27 successful title defenses. And it looked like Inoue would be the 28th. However, from the very beginning, the Japanese hitman started bombing hard with his high-speed missiles, which made the former champion fall on the canvas countless times. And in the second round, Inoue continued to hit combos on his opponent's head that led to a quick knockout, and further winning another WBO title. After spending the next 4 years defending his belts, Inoue was hungry for more gold, so he went on the hunt for another champion. He literally outclassed Yuta Murakoshi, making his fellow countrymen's legs perform the Tokyo Drift over and over again. And as he claimed his first belt, the young fighter couldn't hold back his emotions. But gold alone wasn't enough for him, and it wasn't long before he ruthlessly entered the Blade Organization's one-day tournament, starting his hunt like a bloodthirsty vampire. In July of the same year, the next victim of the Japanese Jason Voorhees was a Chinese fighter named Deng Zeki. At first, their fight didn't spell disaster for Zeki, but within moments, Anpo decided to give him a free ride on his personal airlines. Thus, in the very first round, Anpo aimed to reduce China's population by 1. In the end, Anpo didn't just win. He painted a composition where Deng Zeki played the role of the victim, but in the summer of 2012, in the fight against Yuki Kiyotani, his overconfidence backfired. Takeru allowed himself to get careless, while his more composed opponent methodically hammered lessons of humility into the young Japanese fighter's head. However, Takeru, refusing to taste defeat, charged forward like a kamikaze pilot, only to crash and burn in an instant. Takeru got back on his feet, but under the pressure of his opponent, his nose burst like an overripe tomato, painting his face in crimson shades.
そうですね、一発がやっぱり強い分いってしまうんですよね。はい。自信があるんでしょうね。
これもロープに詰めて、膝から膝ですが右のパンチ、さらに左のフォロー京谷出血しています。こ
こまでちょっと追い込まれた武尊選手初めて見ましたね。
The fight was stopped due to a broken nose. After such a devastating loss, Takeru learned his lesson and erased the word defeat from his vocabulary for the next 10 years. On May 25, 2018, Inoue faced a boxer who was the WBA world champion and who in his entire career of 30 wins and 2 losses was never once knocked out. And the name of this British monster was Jamie McDonnell.
Followed it up straight away as well, and Pozo's rattled. And he's hurt.
McDonnell knew that his opponent was also a monster in a human suit, and so he prepared even during the performance. However, Inoue recalled that a new episode of his favorite anime was coming out that day, so he was determined to send McDonnell into the world of Freddy Krueger before his due date. When the referee commanded the start, Inoue began to rush things so fast that it could have felt like he was rushing to a Black Friday sale. And just when the will to play was over, Inoue began to deliver a brutality combination that led to the first knockout of the Brit's career, and the addition of the WBA belt to Inoue's collection. In the quarterfinal, he effortlessly dismantled the future Rise champion, Masahiro Suzuki, finishing the fight in just 91 seconds. In September 2021, the heir to the art of the ninja seemed to grow tired of boosting his stats against fellow Asians, so he decided to make waves once more, this time against Brazilian fighter Alan Suarez. The fight began, but it seemed that before stepping into the ring, Anpo had ordered a sushi set, as he wasted no time dealing with the Brazilian.
People.
Living up to his nickname Demolition Man, Anpo put on a gravity-defying spectacle for Suarez.
Double kick! What in the heck?
I might have missed that, Nick. Wow.
Oh, man.
In the end, Anpo delivered a spectacular victory, gifting the world yet another masterpiece of knockout artistry.
Sir, a short day from...
After working on his mistakes, Takeru Sagawa returned to the ring and began greedily racking up knockdowns. But things didn't always go according to Takeru's script. In his next fight, his opponent decided to rob him of the possibility of future offsprings.
それに対してどういうふうに武選手がやっていくか楽しみですね。選手なんですけど、これ見ていただいると分かるんですけど、これはローブロー。はい、どうぞ。
However, Sagawa recovered and sent Dr. Eggman to another dimension.
下げて話ですよね。
Riding a series of 13 crushing victories, Takeru Sagawa set his sights on a championship title. The quarterfinals of the Super Series took place in October 2018. Then on the tournament grid, Inoue got against the Dominican, Juan Carlos Payano. Just his presence on the Super Series roster already made him a dangerous opponent. After all, the fighters of this killer's convention were the best of the best, those who did not know their equals.
So here we go then.
The fight began, and Payano's attempt to show off his elite skills only made Inoue laugh.
Competing in his 22nd professional bout tonight.
Inoue realized that even among such masters, he was out of reach. And so the Japanese Unicum decided to show that there were levels in this game, and that he was pumped to the max. The monster decided to show mercy, so he didn't prolong the poor guy's agony and sent him to the realm of Morpheus in just a minute,
And those who questioned whether he could carry it,
thus securing his ticket to the semi-finals with the best spot. Breaking into the semi-final, Tenshin wasted no time in dazzling the audience with the choreography of his kicks, only bringing his fists into play afterward. Eventually, he finished his opponent with a signature left on the backswing. Boom. Roasted. Now, let's travel back in time to September 2018. During his fight with Kenta Hayashi, Anpo proved that the dynamite in his arsenal isn't limited to his legs.
On a night where we've already seen lots of
The bout began, and it felt like the descendants of samurai were dueling with katanas.
There's Rukiya on the ropes right now. Ooh, and landed stiffs. Big, gosh.
Oh, wow, what a move by Ampo. Just switched him right back up. That was a good.
Ooh. Killer body shots there from Hayashi. Miss it on the big left.
Whoa!
The sound of their strikes echoed like the swish of blades slicing through the air.
You can get some distance again. Ooh. Just like that. Yeah, fast strikes. Rukiya with the big frames.
Wow.
Leapt right into that thing.
Hayashi aimed to wage a war, but it seems he didn't realize that Anpo doesn't wage wars, he executes.
Minute left in the round. Neither fighter given an inch. Neither one will back down. God, I see that.
A little snappy punches. Wow.
Oh,
Whoa! Wow! Wow! Wow!
Early in the third round, Anpo's right hand found the reset button on Hayashi's jaw, sending him off to enjoy sweet dreams.
Shiba and incredible knockout there. It's not I go, you go. It's I go, I go, I go. And
Anpo brutally dispatched his opponent to the realm of Morpheus, proving to the world that his fists are just as lethal as his legs.
fantastic.
Yeah.
In April 2015, after debuting in the main K1 organization, he got his chance. He was set to fight Taiga Kawabe, the holder of the Crush Super Bantamweight belt. From the very beginning of the fight, Takeru showcased his superiority and, in his usual style, began dismantling the champion floor in all levels. However, his opponent wasn't planning to be a stationary punching bag and fired back with a barrage of strikes. But this only amused Takeru, who decided to showcase his full mastery of taijutsu. Apparently, after chugging some sake during the break, Takeru activated his Bankai mode and severed his opponent's lifeline. Thus, Sagawa claimed his first championship belt and earned the nickname Born Crusher. The semi-final of the Super Series was on May 18, 2019, and this fight was going to be a real test for Inoue as he faced Emmanuel Rodriguez, who was the undefeated IBF World Champion with a 19-0 record.
Oh, big punches to the head, and Balor's in a whole heap of trouble.
Combination of body shot, the second left, Rodriguez going for the finish.
However, in this fight, winning took a backseat for Inoue. His primary motivation was to avenge the disrespect shown to his father. This disrespect had occurred in the gym before the fight. Rodriguez's coach had cruelly pushed Inoue's father right in front of him, showing extreme disrespect. Then Inoue firmly decided that he would take revenge on this splinter master by brutally destroying his apprentice. And now the day of revenge had come, and Inoue, filled with the desire for revenge, decided not to let his emotions run wild, but to let his fists run wild.
From Japan in this.
But the fight began, but not in favor of Inoue. In fact, Rodriguez began to press hard. But the anger inside Inoue fed his strength, and so he already in the second round loaded his guns and began to bombard Rodriguez, completely eliminating his desire to resist.
For this fight, and he's got into from Inoue. This is a fearsome flurry, and he's down. He's got him. Here is the first knockdown, Carl. That was a great swing. That left hook was so good.
Inoue won and earned the IBF belt. Thus, he cruelly avenged the mean coach, giving his trainee the first unit in the defeat column. Breaking into the semifinal, Tenshin wasted no time in dazzling the audience with the choreography of his kicks, only bringing his fists into play afterward. Eventually, he finished his opponent with a signature left on the backswing. Boom. Roasted. On the eve of the new year, Anpo faced Hideaki Yamazaki and decided to showcase all of his taijutsu skills.
Transpires in the ring today.
The fight began, and to everyone's surprise, Anpo didn't immediately assert his dominance in the ring. Instead, he became the prey in this hunt.
Ooh, there's that. Such a tall, explosive.
But by the second round, Anpo seemed to have undergone a rebirth, starting to demonstrate all sorts of knockout acrobatics.
Wow, a lot of strategy going on here between these two.
Tripped over his feet.
Real power, yeah.
Like an enraged ballerina, Anpo delivered his brutal kicks, making Yamazaki regret ever signing the fight contract.
Oh, and it lands. Ooh, the rope up. You landed that thing. The action.
Let's see what transpires.
That southpaw stance, that snapping left kick. Fighting down and fighting his way off.
Oh, nice move, fight.
And in the final moments of the bout, Anpo decided to showcase the full grace of his kickboxing.
Big.
Thus, the Japanese fighter delivered an express delivery of his high kick.
Low kicks. Wow.
Through the guard.
Just
so much concussive force.
In the end, Anpo whistled a knockout melody for yet another victim, once again leaving sports fans amazed with an incredible highlight.
And extremely powerful.
Just when it seemed the Born Crusher had no worthy foes left, he challenged one championship's reigning nightmare, Superlek Kiatmu, a human typhoon who'd even stopped the unstoppable Rod Tang. Their clash in early 2024 started with Superlek declaring a low kick festival in Takeru's honor. The The Thai then peppered the Japanese superstar with a never-ending buffet of front kicks, keeping him on a leash shorter than a Parisian poodle's.
That lead leg of
But Takeru eventually cornered the kick machine and threatened to tarnish his shiny record. Thankfully for Superlek, the Salvation Bell spared him from further vandalism. In the next round, Takeru tried to course correct, but Superlek, armed with ironclad stamina and fists harder than a Brexit negotiation, dragged the fight to the judges. Craving the one championship belt but tasting defeat instead, Takeru left the arena in a wheelchair, his leg resembling overcooked ramen.
Thank you.
Inoue had no idea that this fight would be fatal for him, because no one had ever made him sweat so much in his victorious career. In November 2019, Inoue nearly lost his zero in the loss column at the Super Series finale. Indeed, he faced the Filipino Nonito Donaire, who was not only a tough knockout artist, but also the owner of impeccable technique.
And a jab upstairs, so Donaire coming back, and then Gabalio fighting back.
Therefore, all the spectators expected a brutal fight.
Of a sublime career. In many ways, the man opposite him represents...
The fight was not in favor of Inoue. Frankly speaking, Nonito was completely squashing him.
Knocked him off balance. Donaire hurt, comes back with a 1-2.
This fight for the little monster became like a battle with Van Helsing. After all, it was the first time he was cut and bled.
The ones that Donaire isn't able to read, but he's walking through them so far. Catches...
But Inoue, with a bloodshot eye, began to show why he was nicknamed the Monster. He fought with a ferocious intensity, determined to snatch victory from Nonito's hands.
Good stuff from Inoue.
Terrific combinations.
And the superb 5.5 rounds. Variation. Head, body, cannot miss at the minute. Worrying times for Donaire. Lovely work from Inoue. It won't be long before he's inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's a good finish. It really is.
But Nonito's grip was steely, and it seemed that the Filipino was about to bury Inoue's perfect record.
Expect Donaire to let some big shots of his own go.
11 rounds, but is this the end? Check left hook now. He's hurting.
Amazing, and hats off to both guys.
However, Inoue seemed to have activated berserk mode and fought like never before.
Boxing, they will want him to finish on his feet.
Already at the finish line, the rivals were head-to-head for victory. But in the 11th round, Inoue was able to shake his opponent with a sniper's shot to the liver, for which he was recognized by the judges as the stronger fighter.
Listen to the home crowd now, really get behind him. Has a lovely left to the body. Lovely.
Well, you talk about the great rounds in history of boxing. People will look back on this.
Winning by the judges' unanimous decision and barely managing to keep his zero in the loss column. Inoue won the World Boxing Super Series and captured the trophy of the great Muhammad Ali, proving once again that he had no equal yet. After winning the judges' decision, Inoue apparently thought it would be bad for his reputation, so he delivered 4 knockouts in a row. But 4 wasn't enough, so he went after his next victim. In the final, he faced the shootboxing champion, Taiki Naito. 2 of the strongest fighters met in the ring, but only one would claim the gold. And then, the bell sounded. Naito charged forward aggressively, throwing kicks, but Nasukawa immediately made it clear he wasn't here to play games and swiftly sent his opponent to the canvas, almost beheading him. At one point, it seemed like Naito wanted to crawl out of the ring, but he had no intention of giving up so easily. Getting back on his feet, he initiated a brutal exchange, managing to land some significant damage on Tenshin. But he shouldn't have messed with Nasukawa's hairstyle, as just moments later, Tenshin made him kneel as if before his emperor. Realizing it was time to finish his wounded prey, Nasukawa charged at his opponent and literally knocked the remaining consciousness out of him. That evening, Tenshin received not only a new belt, but also a $25,000 bonus. After the fight, he was able to calmly head home and watch a new series of his favorite anime. In July 2021, Anpo shared the stage with a fighter named Koki, turning the ring into a four-cornered chamber of torment.
Those 2 kilos for fighters like this make a huge difference.
The bell rang, and from the very first seconds of the fight, Koki sent Anpo to the canvas. But Anpo immediately repaid Koki in kind, tossing a coin of his own making. Somehow Koki managed to rise, but like a true samurai heir, Anpo finished his opponent, sparing him the agony of further suffering.
Hey! That's it. That's got to be it.
Like a true samurai, Anpo demonstrated that his mastery of the katana was far superior. After cannibalizing his way through a solid record against fellow countrymen, Takeru moved up in weight class and set his sights on international opposition. The Japanese fighter was set to face Russian Alexander Prilip, a man with fists heavier than a Siberian winter. The clash promised to reignite the Russo-Japanese War, this time in a ring. During the fight, Alexander diligently tested the durability of the Asian skull, trying to turn off Takeru's lights prematurely. But by the end of the round, Takeru seemed to undergo a spiritual rebirth and reminded the Russian who the real champion was. To cap it off, the Japanese fighter decided to take Alexander on a scenic tour of the ring, dismantling his torso atom by atom and claiming another crushing victory. In December 2022, Inoue was just short of the WBA belt to the title of Absolute Champion. But the usual victory for Inoue was not enough, and so he decided to give the audience a real show, organizing one of the most humiliating executions in boxing. And professional British boxer Paul Butler became a victim of this bloodthirsty belt hunter.
Bantamweight champion in boxing.
Continuing his ascent to the kickboxing pinnacle, Nasukawa built an impressive record of 16-0, becoming a true boogeyman for any opponent. But stepping up to the next level, he was set to face a truly dangerous opponent, the Thai champion Wanchalong, who was a protege of the legendary Saenchai. The high-profile bout promised to deliver a truly spectacular fight for the fans, but as soon as the bell sounded, the Thai fighter made a sneaky move, and in response to Nasukawa's extended hand, shamelessly kicked him. The Japanese wunderkind was stunned and decided to teach the scoundrel some manners, who had completely forgotten what honor was.
Believe it. So fast with those kicks. Wanchalong firing back, but eating blow after blow here. Combination upon combination. Tenshin Nasukawa teeing off on Wanchalong here.
Nasukawa aggressively introduced the Thai fighter to his tension combinations, but the tough Thai desperately begged for more, not forgetting to fight back.
And he wants, looking for a high knee there. The kick there, Wanchalong. Straight in there, inside the pot. Looking to put it on the face of Wanchalong, clocks it.
But the young Japanese fighter decided not to drag out the fight, and after feeding Wanchalong a low kick, delivered a fatal Ushirogeri, sending him to the realm of dreams in an instant.
Oh, spinning kick there from Tenshin Nasukawa. Puts Wanchalong on the canvas.
While Nasukawa celebrated his victory, the Thai fighter struggled to regain consciousness. However, he was still unable to leave the arena on his own. It was a long night. Next up for Takeru was French knockout artist Charles Bongiovanni, a man whose fists were as refined as French wine and as brutal as a Parisian taxi driver. Takeru started the fight cockily, taunting the Frenchman and recklessly exchanging blows.
リーチ長いんだよ。
左これだ。
何か起こりそうですよね。
さあ入った。うわー、迎え撃つしかし入れる。お互い入れる。
But the frog leg enthusiast wasn't one to be underestimated, and Charles was determined to prove it. After the break, Takeru refueled, repaid Charles in kind, and soon the Frenchman surrendered like a true Frenchman.